What's up? If you're watching this video on the day of its release, then it means that we have just hit 40,000 subscribers. Wow. When I started off this channel hardcore, I never thought I would actually be doing YouTube this seriously. I've been trying to post pretty much daily lately for last 2 months. Still have a lot of videos coming from Patreon requests that I need to do. That is 100% coming soon. But to celebrate this number, I decided that we are going to do another Q&A. Now, 5,000 subscribers ago, which was around 3 months ago, I've posted my Q&A for 35,000 subscribers, and I had a lot of questions there. Today we're not going to have as many questions. I've asked my subscribers maybe like 3 days ago to ask me anything they would like to know about me. And so I've got, like 31 question here on my phone, which I'm going to read and answer honestly. Yeah, let's get through them. Our first question for today comes from user named QQChaseOnD. He asked me, "Can you post your personal playlist of songs you listen to?" Well, my Spotify playlist is littered with like 1,100 songs. Instead, I'd recommend you check out my other playlists. Best of Metal, for example, is one of my playlists that I am actually keeping pretty filtered. I post best songs of the month every month, so it gets updated every 30 days. It already has 740 followers, so if you want to be one of them, you can join it. Tony Sniper asked me, "Are you single?" No, I'm very not single. Lalo Lara asks, "Travel to the past or the future?" I'd say travel to the past, but not do anything that would change the future. Because I'm not a fan of knowing what's to come. I'm more of a, whatever comes, I'm gonna deal with it. I don't want to expect things, so I guess that's your answer. Next question comes from Destiny Bennett, who asks me, "Have you listened to Great Days?" Yes, I have. They've recently released an album, which was sort of a re-recording and rewriting of their very, very first, very old album from '90s with Chester Bennington, and they actually finished it and put it out a couple of weeks back. Another 40 minutes of hearing Chester Bennington's voice is definitely worth it. So if you haven't checked out Great Days, but you love Linkin Park and you love Chester Bennington, I suggest you check it out. It's a very, very good experience. Mircea Mayeran asks me, "How does your top 10 albums of this year look like?" Well, I don't have a top 10, but I have a top 9. I posted it a couple of days ago on Twitter. So you start from here and you finish here. This is pretty much my most favorite albums of the year so far. Zach McConaughey asks, "Favorite song of your favorite album this year?" Well, we have to figure out what's my favorite album this year so far. I'd say my favorite song so far is Erase Me. It's Erase Me from Make Them Suffer. It's just such an amazing metalcore track. Probably one of my favorite this year. So, yeah. Gamer Movie Dude asks me, "Which cover that you've done are you most proud of? Also, what are your favorite albums of the year so far?" Well, second question I already answered. There's 3 covers that I would point out. The best one, the one that I'm most proud of, is Chemical by The Devil Wears Prada, the one that I did in December. A very emotional cover, and the one that was like a first good cover. Second one, I'd say North Lane's Quantum Flux, simply because it's one of the more difficult covers I've done. Probably the most difficult, actually. I've done a lot of challenging covers after that one, but that one was like the first challenge for me. So yeah, that one's another one that I really enjoyed doing. And third one is a quite recent one. It's a cover of Dance Gavin Dance Say Hi, simply because it's such a different genre, such a different style that I've never explored before. And I never expected to do a cover on something like that, but I did, and I'm proud of myself for that. Party Shrimp asks me, "Is Ukraine worth visiting?" Well, not now because you can't, but whenever it's safe to travel again, I'd say you should have it on the list, but maybe not on the top. It's a beautiful country, mostly for its nature. It's got a lot of castles, which is not very common around here in North America. But, in general, there's a lot of interesting cities. You've got cities with more Soviet style architecture, you've got cities with more, like Lviv, for example, with more Austrian, European architecture. It's an interesting country, to say the least. So it's also very cheap. Ivan Levkovsky asks me, what part of Ukraine are you from? I'm originally from Odessa. Wow, 2 Ukraine questions in a row. I am from Western Ukraine, from a city called Ivano-Frankivsk. It's a fairly small city. It's like around 300,000 population, but it's a nice city. It's like a old European style city with a little bit of ugly Soviet buildings here and there. Been to Odessa when I was a kid once. It was pretty okay. Echelon 9. Shout out to Discord fam. What is the significance of banana in your videos? Guys, I have to be honest. I don't know how to say this, but banana is not with us anymore. I don't know what happened, and I don't know how to explain this, but he's not coming back. I'm sorry. Next question. Bradley Bynard asks me, most played album of 2020 so far, curious to know. I'm actually curious to know that myself. If you're saying the most streamed of the albums that came out this year, it's probably Bleed From Within or Bury Tomorrow. But if you're saying just in general albums, I'd say it's The Devil Wears Prada, The Acts. That's the album I've been listening to a lot. Lee Esham asks me, if you had to pick a band whose latest album completely threw you off, who would it be? Wage War. I don't think I need to explain. It was just such a uninspiring and boring album, so Wage War. Trent Wilson asks me, what's the first album you fell in love with? Hybrid Theory. Matthew Cohen asks me, I'm South African, and I, for the life of me, can't pronounce your name, but I'd love to get it right. Well, hello from Canada, South Africa. It's actually a very easy name. It's not very common, but it's a very easy name to pronounce. It's literally 2 syllables. Bogdan, so Bogdan. Bogdan. Night Raider 52. Out of everything you've listened to or did a review on, what had surprised you the most in terms of the song itself and the enjoyment of it? What an amazing question. Let me think about it. I'd say it was probably whenever I did the reaction to Talking Heads, and then when I reviewed the album by Northlane Alien with that song in it. I think that was the most interesting album I've ever encountered. Yeah, I think in terms of surprise and enjoyment, I'd say it's Alien by Northlane. Armageddon Baklatsi. I'm sorry. There's weird letters there. I can't read it. What is your favorite breakdown/breakdowns? I have a lot of very nice breakdowns in mind, but the one that has imprinted into my brain for like the last couple of months is definitely the one from The Devil Wears Prada, The Thread. That breakdown is insane. STEFX asks me, what your parents think about your music you listen to? That's their face. That's the face they make. Cringe asks me, what difficulties of moving abroad did you face? What are pros and cons about living in Canada? Difficulties is definitely, it's a very long process to get into here. Another difficulty is just, adaptation. You need a lot of time to adjust to a different culture, to a different language. Pros of living in Canada is this is one of the best countries to live in terms of quality of life. It's a very pretty country. There's a lot to explore here. Cons? It's fucking expensive. North Star asks me, well, that's a big question. What's one musical artist, dead or alive, would you love to sit down and talk to about music or just life? I'd say mine would be Chester Bennington, Mike Shinoda, and Garth Russell. Thanks, and keep up the amazing work, man. Thank you. I definitely will. You hit the nail on the head with this one. Chester Bennington is definitely one I would like to talk to. I'm very interested to know, a lot of things from his life, from his music. That's unfortunately something that is never going to happen, unfortunately. Garrett Russell is a very good one too. I've actually talked to him very shortly at one of the shows that I've been to, and he seems like an amazing conversationalist, so definitely either one of those two. Solid answer. Christy asked me, I've always noticed cars in the background of your vids. Are you a car guy? And what's your favorite car? Yes, there are cars in the background of my video. For instance, this Toyota Supra, which my camera won't focus on because it sees my face. Still sees my face? Okay, well, it's a Toyota Supra. Anastasia asks me, what's your favorite line from a song? What are some of your interesting habits? Favorite line from a song? So Cry Me a Fucking River, Bitch, from Romance is Dead by Parkway Drive. And my most interesting habits? I don't know if it's interesting, but let me know if you do this, but whenever I drive in the car, I just like to... So imagine I'm driving. I like to put my hand like this, and it's stationary in the air. It's suspended in the air. I'm driving, and my hand is just like this. Francisco Rodriguez asks me, do you think Bring Me the Horizon will end up as an all-time great band? Explain why. A lot of it has to do with influence, and I think in that department, Bring Me the Horizon has no shortage of that. Very influential band. I think they're the most influential band in modern metalcore / heavier rock, hard rock music, and I think that definitely gives them a spot as one of the all-time great bands. I totally agree with that. AC Covers asks me, what career are you studying? What do you want to do for the rest of your life? I am studying interaction design, which is sort of a fusion between graphic design, user interface design, and, you know, the interaction between the user and the design. It's sort of interesting. It's a very broad program that I'm studying, so it gives me a lot of opportunities, but it's also a bit stressful and scary to think about the future. What I would like to do for the rest of my life? Live a happy life. Danish Ajar asks me, as someone who's trying to get their own YouTube thing going, how did you get your channel to the standard that it is today? It's a lot of work and it's a lot of trial and error. You can clearly see sometimes in the graph that, you know, I wouldn't post videos at all and it would just flatline in terms of views, subscribers, and all that. And this year I actually tried to do more videos, more interesting videos, more covers, more original stuff. And I think it's something that really pays off. So constant work, maybe not hard work, but constant work is something that you should be prepared for if you want to do YouTube. Ivan Nazarov asks me, how did you move to Canada? Can you put your life story briefly? I was born in Ukraine. I lived there for 15 years until I moved here to Canada. And now I live here, I study. I am planning to work here. I'm planning to live here. I don't know. Whatever my future brings me to. YouTube 12 in Roman numerals asks me, what's your favorite chorus that you've ever listened to in any metal song? Rank a number one clean vocal chorus and a number one non-clean vocal chorus. I'll say the most recent one that completely blown me away was Barry Tomorrow's song Gods and Machines. Fantastic chorus. Unclean chorus, I don't know, for some reason I remember All Out Live by Slipknot. I think it had a very good unclean vocals chorus. And that is it. Oh my god. We have been through 30 questions today. I'm sorry if I haven't answered your question. I just picked some of the more that I haven't answered in the last Q&A. So if you'd like to know more stuff about me, you can check out my 35K special question and answer. But this has been it for today. There is going to be another special for 40K, which is going to be very interesting because it's going to be a cover, but not just a vocal cover. It's going to be a full cover with a lot of people working on it with me. Those people are YouTubers, so it's going to be very, very interesting. It's the biggest collab I've ever done yet. That's been it for today. Thank you a lot for tuning in. Thank you a lot for supporting this channel and being a subscriber for such a long time. It really means a lot to me that there's 40,000 of you here on this channel. And I promise that I will try to, you know, set the bar higher now for content. I'll try to do more original stuff. I will see where it goes. But thank you for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.